那个李师兄，因为外面下雨哦，看同门能不能够在前面排队的时候让他们尽量让一条道路，因为外面也下雨。如果那个主旗者他们要先哈达的话，或者你们先在这个里面保持原位，哦，一个一个这样子排队，就避免在外面淋雨。
We just welcome our lineage root guru, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Now let's pay homage to the root guru and all Buddhas. Visualize full prostration, release the mudra. Second to all bodhisattvas. Visualize full prostration, release the mudra. Third to all Herukas and Dhamma protectors. Visualize full prostration, release the mudra. Fourth half bow. Now we are inviting the primary supplicants for this Homa to please come forward and present the offering of Hatha to the lineage root guru as a symbol of the highest honor.
Pakmo Hong Pei So Ha Dorje 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 Pakmo Hong Pei So。
让我们以热烈的掌声感谢师尊的赐福。恭请圣尊加持摊位佛具供品。
Now we are inviting His Holiness to bless the offering items.
感谢师尊，恭请圣尊升护摩法座。
We are inviting His Holiness to ascend to the Homa throne. And we are inviting Simu and all the masters, reference, our special guests, and all participants to please be seated. Inviting His Holiness to bless the prayers of the primary supplicants. Let's give a huge round of applause as our token of gratitude to our lineage root guru for presiding over this marvelous Homa fire offering ceremony. And we also like to extend our warmest welcome to Sumo and all participating masters, reference, and all participants. The Vajravarahi Homa fire offering ceremony has now begun. Clap twice and snap your fingers. Visualize true Buddha lineage. Namo Vairocana Buddha, Namo Buddha Lokana, Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Padma Kumara, Namo Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Visualize Grandmaster and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas radiate light to bless us. Recite the root Guru mantra 7 times. Recite purification mantras and the Athiyati mantra. Om Siudori Siudori Siumori Siumori Soha Om Vajradan He He Hom Namo Samanto Modoran Om Duru Duru Devi Soha. Invocation mantra. Om A Hom Soha Om A Hom Soha. We sincerely invoke our lineage root guru, the white Mahapadma Kumara, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Our lineage root guru, the white Mahapadma Kumara, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Our lineage root guru, the white Mahapadma Kumara, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa, Namo Vajravarahi. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa, Namo Vajravarahi. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa, Namo Vajravarahi. We sincerely invoke Namo Yamantaka, Akala, the 4 heavenly kings, golden mother of the primordial jet pond, Sima Bodhisattva, rainbow temples, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities, all the deities enshrined at the True Buddha Tattoo Quarter, at the Seattle Lechang Temple, at the abode of the Southern Mountain, and at the True Buddha Seattle Chapter. Rainbow temples, mountain god, earth god, plant god, wind god, water god, heavenly fire god, dragon gods, and all divinities as well as the city god, to please radiate light and bless this Homa. Great homage using visualization, first to root guru and all Buddhas. Visualize for prostration on the ground, release the mudra. Second to all Bodhisattvas. Visualize for prostration on the ground, release the mudra. Third to all Herukas and Dhamma protectors. Visualize for prostration on the ground, release the mudra. Fourth head bow. Great mandala offering, form the offering mudra. Visualize the transformations of the offerings to become innumerable to fill the whole space. Make the offering above to the lineage guru, all the lineage gurus, the main deity of Homa, Vajravarahi, and all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities, and below to all sentient beings. Recite the offering verse and mantra. Mount Meru, 4 continents, and sun and moon transform into precious offerings for the Buddhas. May these wondrous treasures and merits purge our karma to allow us self-realization. Fourfold refuge, visualize our lineage root guru, all the lineage gurus, Buddha jewel, Dhamma jewel, and Sangha jewel to form bright white light to empower us. Recite the mantra. Namo Armor protection from Vajravarahi Mudra. With great reverence, we invite His Holiness to perform blessings with Mala. Inviting His Holiness to set ceremonial delegation and to bless the registration forms and all the offerings with Vajravarahi and scepter. Inviting His Holiness to perform the ritual of opening the fire pit. Inviting His Holiness to lit the Homa fire and to make all the offerings and to perform mudra transformations for purifications, enrichments, magnetization, subjugation, and bardo deliverance. The assembly will be reciting the heart mantra of the main deity of the Homa today, Vajravarahi. During this time, you may also perform the Homa visualization, which is visualizing the emergence of the deity in the space above, the merging of the deity with the Homa fire, and the merging of you, the practitioner, with the Homa fire and the deity. Visualize the Homa fire burn away all the negativities and the karma until you attain the bright clarity.
配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘配手哈多谢帕姆烘
Hom Pei So Ha Om Dorje Pakmo 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 เจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซหะอมโตเจพังหมู่ห่มเพโซห ha Om Dorje Pakmo Hom Pei So 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 Ha. 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 Om Dorje Pakmo Hom Pei So Ha.
Om Dorje Pakmo Hom Pei So Ha.
Recite that mantras of the eight principal deities and can Buddha Amitabha. Merry dedication. May all uphold the Buddha, ascend to the realm of utmost bliss, repaying for awful generosities from above, aiding those in the three realms below. Upon seeing the Buddha, may we transcend life and death like the Buddha, may we liberate all. We dedicate the merit of this ceremony to our lineage root Guru. May you stay healthy, live a long life with great self-mastery, continually turn the Dharma wheel in samsara. Inviting His Holiness to perform the overall merit dedication. homage to Vajravarahi, the Dorje Pakmo. Homage to Vajravarahi, Dorje Pakmo. Homage to Vajravarahi, Dorje Pakmo. We pray to Vajravarahi to help that Tantric Buddhism can flourish and widely deliver sentient beings. By your vows, please guide the Bardoda spirits to be reborn into the pure Buddha lands. By your red fire, please burn sentient beings' karma so that karma is eradicated. Karmic sicknesses is eradicated. All calamities eradicated. Wholeheartedly we pay homage to Vajravarahi. Please bless all participants with good health, wishes fulfilled, calamities transformed into auspiciousness, and strong commitment in spiritual cultivation. Please bless them with ample resources, abundant resources, and perfect wisdom, and perfect harmony, love and respect. We pray to Dorje Pakmo to radiate bright light and bless and be in union with secret Tantrika to ignite the inner fire and to drip the light drops, to open the 5 chakras and to open the central channel. Please radiate light. Please bless all participants so that they have attainments in their spiritual cultivation. To the gods of the heavens, gods on earth, may we be far from all calamities, may all calamities abandon us, let all disasters turn into dust. May all of our prayers be granted. May all enemies and enmities vanish. May all obstructions disappear. May all demons' work disappear. Syllable mantra 3 times. Manopanaya Peza Sato Tenu Padicha Jeto Me Pawa Suto Kayu Me Pawa Sopo Kayu Me Pawa Anorato Me Pawa Sawa Sidi Me Purayata Sawa Karma Sutta Me Chitamu Sidi Ren Guru Hom Ha 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 Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Peza Mami Mensa Peza Pawa Mahasamaya Sato a hom pe om peza sato samaya manupanaya peza sato tenu padicha jeto me pawa suto kayu me pawa sopo kayu me pawa anorato me pawa sawa sidi me purayata sawa karma sutta me chitamu sidi ren guru hom ha 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 Bhagavan sawa tathagata peza mami mensa peza pawa mahasamaya Sato a hom pe om peza sato samaya manupanaya
Pecha sato tenu paticha, Jejo me pawa, Soto kayu me pawa, Sopo kayu me pawa, Anorato me pawa, Sawaha sidi me purayacha, Sawaha kama, Sutame chitamo, Sidi ren guru hom, ha 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 ha, Bakawan sawa, Tathagata, Pecha mami mencha, Pecha pawa, Mahasamaya, Sato a hom pei. 做观想大礼拜，一拜根本传承上师及诸佛。
Great homage using visualization, first to root Guru and all Buddhas. Lily Samudra, second to all Bodhisattvas. Visualize full procession on the ground, Lily Samudra. Third to all Herukas and Dharma protectors. Visualize full procession on the ground, Lily Samudra. Fourth Hepa. Recite completion mantra. Now please stand up, and together we will be inviting His Holiness to take the Dharma teaching seat. Please be seated. Please give a huge round of applause to show our utmost gratitude to our lineage Guru for presiding over this Homa fire offering ceremony. Now let's join our palms with great reverence. Together, we are inviting His Holiness to bestow the precious Dharma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage Gurus, homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming, homage to Master Sakya Tsungkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dupten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Vajravarahi, Dorje Pakmo. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the webcast, and our participating VIPs are the accountant to Two Buddha School, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband, and from Taiwan National Cheng Kung University EE Department, Professor Wang Li, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and Dr. Zhou. The producers for the Geni Kensang Shinten from CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, and from Malaysia, the entrepreneur Datuk Kenneth Loy, Datin, and their daughter Lei Qian. Good afternoon, everybody. How do you do? Today we perform Vajravarahi, and in Tibet, she is an important Buddha mother. In Tibet, all the living Buddhas are mostly men, and there was only one temple in Tibet that has a female living Buddha, and that living Buddha was a reincarnation of Vajravarahi. From Australia, Peter, where are you? Peter from Australia, standing in the middle there. So he visited that female living Buddha's temple, and he showed her my picture, and she said she recognized this Grandmaster Lu. So there are only very few living Buddhas or Rinpoches that don't recognize me these days. So she is the only female Rinpoche in Tibet, and she is an emanation of Dorje Pakmo, the incarnation of Dorje Pakmo. And the rest are all male Rinpoches. But True Buddha School is a very popular, and so big and small Rinpoches know about True Buddha School. And the Venerable monk Liao-ming represented Nyingma school. Why? Because the first Rinpoche that went to China to spread Buddha Dharma was born in Xikang, which is in the northeastern region of China, was Master Nona. Where is Xikang is an area in Qinghai near Tibet, not in the northeastern. So Master Nona from Xikang went to the Middle Kingdom, and the person accompanying him, spreading Buddha Dharma, was the Venerable monk Liao-ming. So the Venerable monk Liao-ming had learned the Dharma practices of Nyingma school from Master Nona. And the Venerable Liao-ming taught Master Nona about the Vajra or Diamond Sutra. So the Venerable monk Liao-ming had studied with Master Nona. And lastly, Master Nona invited the Gongka Rinpoche to go to the Middle Kingdom to spread Buddha Dharma. So Master Nona and Gongka Rinpoche of the Kagyu school spread to China. In Taiwan, there was the Gongka elder, Seng Su-ren, studied Kagyupa and took refuge in the Gongka Rinpoche. and then also in Karmapa. And he's called the Elder Gongga Sen Suwen, by the name of Sen Suwen, that at the Gongga Center in Taipei. So that's the lineage. So Grandmaster's lineage includes Venerable Mang Liaoming. And lastly, Master Tupten Dorje, that belongs to the yellow sect, Kagyupa. And during the Ching dynasty, there was a Rinpoche that was doing translation from the Tibetan sutras. And his name was Tupten Nima of Kagyupa. And Tupten Nima transmitted Dharma to Tupten Tali. And Tupten Tali transmitted Dharma to Tupten Dorje, who transmitted Dharma to Tupten Chimo. And Grandmaster is Tupten Chimo. This is the lineage in the yellow sect. The red sect we already have. And then the Sakya sect is from the Sakya temple in Green Lake. I met Master Sakya Zengkong, which is His Eminence, the Zhong Rinpoche, and I took refuge in him. So that's why I hold the Sakya lineage. And then red, yellow, white, and Sakya. And for the white sect, or Kagyupa, I went to New York with Huang Caochu, a person, Huang Caochu. In upstate New York, there is a place that's called the Trikaya Dharma Chakra Center in Woodstock, upstate New York, established by His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and I took refuge in him over there. So this is the lineage of the Kagyupa. And the crown that I'm wearing today belongs to the white sect, Kagyupa. So this kind of Dharma crowns are worn in the Kagyu sect. Wi-Fi. So Vajravarahi is for the inner fire meditation, because Vajravarahi is fire. Then why is she called Haimu? Haimu in Chinese meaning the soul head, because next to her head is a head of a soul or pig. Because in Chinese, the word or the character hai, which is the radical, like to the character of a child, represents a pig or a soul. Because she is a really magnificent young girl, and she's holding kachanka, which is the same as Padmasambhava, and in her hand she's holding a kapala, and over here is a kachanka on the left side, and she's naked, and she's all red, representing fire. When a yogi is practicing the tumo or inner fire, we need to visualize her. In our body, there's the generation palace. And most importantly is at the forefinger width below the navel is called the generation palace. and it is triangular. And at the center, Dorje Pakmo is standing over there. So if you practice in a fire, you have to visualize Vajravarahi standing at the center of the triangle. And then the short A or half of the A character, then you visualize to become Vajravarahi, which ignite the inner fire. So eyes like this, and then you place it upside down. It looks like a fire or flame of the fire. And that flame is Vajravarahi. So Vajravarahi helps you to ignite your inner fire. So everyone practicing inner fire has to say this, invoking Vajravarahi to enter into the generation palace, standing there, and then it becomes the flame that is in the shape of the short ah, said syllable. And someone asks me, how do we ignite the inner fire? We need very important key formulas. And this key formula has to be transmitted by Grandmaster in order for the disciples to know. Is it good for me to transmit it today? Well, then you should not spread it if I tell you today. Otherwise, X would know. Because she claimed that she had ignited her inner fire. But to ignite the inner fire, you need to use this key formula that has to be taught. When you practice the treasure-based yoga until you see smoke appearing, and you sense that there's smoke inside your body, according to logic, then when you see smoke, you know there's fire. And because you have seen smoke, then I will teach you the formula, because that formula is extremely important. Milarepa used the 6 posture mudra. So the 2 legs cross, like when you're holding your P, and to form 6 triangles. So when you cross your legs, there are 4 triangles, and then the arms are embracing the legs to become 6 triangles. That's called the Liu Zhao Yin in Chinese. So like the 6 triangle mudra. So when you cross your legs, you form 4 triangles, and you need to sit on a higher cushion, slightly higher cushion. Cross your legs, 4 triangles, and then you embrace your legs with your arms, and you form 6 triangles. And then you pull your legs to be as close as possible to the navel. So you need to practice inner fire in this position. And what's one important thing is you need the Zen belt. So you need to tie the belt around the place of the inner fire very tightly. And I will not tell you now how to tie it. Otherwise, X would know and would say something that she ignited her inner fire this way. Other than this key formula about the 6 triangle mudra and also the way to tie the belt. And Master Lian-Sheng told me there's no need for the Zen belt anymore these days. You use one thing. just to bind it together, to tighten it, because you need to push it, to press it, and you need to really push it in order for the fire to ignite. When you breathe in, it's very tight. And then you use the fierce breathing. So when you're about to die, it's almost similar to this, and then you die. So you breathe in and out very fast and fiercely, strongly, and then you use that power to ignite it. You use your mind power, the red fire, bright, hot, and red. So there is three conditions together. Like today, if we want to ignite a fire, we can use a magnifier and a piece of paper and to focus the sun rays onto a point. And then when the focus is on the paper, then it would be ignited. That's physics. You ignite fire using the magnifier. And the way to ignite the inner fire is the combination of physics, chemistry, and the power of the mind to ignite the inner fire. That's about the formulas. Those were the formulas that I talk about. I just talk about one word. So it's like binding. Or to bunch it, to bind. Why in Tantric Buddhism, all the Tantric statues have slim waist, like the waist of Vajrasattva, of Manjushri Bodhisattva? They all have very slim waist. Slim waist. It's easier to practice in a fire when you have a slim waist. So, Vajravarahi is a very important deity for the inner fire Tummo practice. In order to practice inner fire, you need to receive empowerment or Homa and empowerment, and you need to pray to her, and you need to visualize her at the center of your triangular generation palace. This triangle is at the forefinger width below your navel. So inside, underneath the central channel. So when we do the Treasure Vase Yoga, we breathe in both left and right channels. And at the Generation Palace, you hold your breath. And above, you push it on the Generation Palace. And then you lift up your anus. So you lift up your lower chi, you push down your upper chi, and then the treasure vase is at the Generation Palace. And then you hold your breath as long as you can, until you cannot hold your breath anymore. And then you let the chi to hit the top of your head, and then come down and then exhale. But if you practice it well, then the chi can be expelled through the skin pores. So that's how treasure vase is. that you use the upper chi push down and the lower chi to push up and to make a treasure vase and to keep it as long as you can. Because if you can keep it long, then the chi can enter the central channel. Once it enters into the central channel, then the convenient chi becomes the wisdom chi. In order to open the central channel, you have to rely on the chi of the treasure vase and then to open all the central channels. This is a way, a method of spiritual cultivation. For the inner fire practice, you have to rely on Vajravarahi standing on the triangular generation palace. And then you use treasure vase chi to enter, and then you use the fast and fierce breathing like a pump. It's very tight. And then visualize a red, bright, and hot fire. And with the bang, it is ignited. Her sixth syllable is bang. Bang. So with this explanation, you understand pretty much. So that's why I asked you to practice treasure vase yoga first. Because without it, it would be impossible for you to keep the chi for a long time. And then your central channel is not open and flowing. So first you have to open the central channel before you practice inner fire. And before that, before the central channel and the inner fire, it's best to practice non-leaking dharma. Because all comes from the merging of the water and fire and from the seeds. And during the offerings, there were seeds being offered. Because only by having seeds, then it would sprout. Without, if you want to sprout the seed, once it sprouts, then it becomes inner fire. And what is the seeds? That's your hormone. That's the light drops inside your body. Of course, there are lots of hormone. In each of our organs, there are hormones. In the brain, there's also hormone called the body chakra. In the throat, there's a hormone, which is the saliva. In pancreas, there's a hormone called the insulin. When you can't generate any more insulin, then you are diabetic. And then there's also secretion inside the stomach. That's also a kind of hormone. All the secretion and moisturizer all over your body is hormone. Like if your knees deteriorate or age, there's no moistening between the bones, and that moisturizer is hormone, which is light drops. When you're old and the light drops decrease, and then with the rubbing, then you have pain in your knees. Many elderlies have pains in their knees. Why? Because you're old and you have no more hormones, no more secretions or moisturizers inside the joint. So your body is about 70%, not 90, 70% is water. So if you're dehydrated, then you would become very small. So when you have a body sarira, you're only this tall because the water has evaporated. So it's like a dried human. Dried is like dried fruit. This is a dried human lubricant for the knees. So when the fruit is dehydrated, then becomes dried fruit. And the humans dehydrated is only this big. And then if you add water to it, then it would become as big as a human being. So our bodies have 70% water. Especially the water is here at the brow point, body chakra, and fire is at the generation palace. And then you move the inner fire gradually all the way to the brow, and then you dissolve the body chakra to become liquid, and then it merges with the fire. And then reaching the 5 chakras, opening the 5 chakras in order to have the lucid clarity, to clear light to appear. So the 3 treasures in Mahayana is body, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And the 3 treasures in Tantrayana is the Qi, channels, and light drops. These are the 3 treasures in Tantrayana, which is the methods of inner tantric practices. If you can open the brow chakra, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the navel chakra, and then the secret chakra or the generation chakra opened, only this time you would have great transcendent power. So anyone chakra opens, then you would have a transcendent power. Without having them open, then everything is illusory. So your supernatural power is not true, it's not authentic, it's not real. It's just illusory. You have to have the chakras open in order to have transcendent or true transcendent power. Or if you would be able to see the spirits, the yin and yang eyes, or be able to hear, to see, or the soul travel, and then the complete exhaustion, transcendental power. So, or knowing your karma, present, future, and past life, knowing what other people are thinking, traveling, knowing your lives. 5 kinds of transcendent powers. Without the 5 chakras open, they are not real. They are just superficial. It's not something real that you gain through inner tantric practices. Oh, there's an announcement. Next Sunday, October 8th at 3 p.m., there would be the Amogapasa Homa fire offering ceremony. Amogapasa Guan Yin. This Guan Yin is very special. What is the Amogapasa, which means non-empty? Which means whatever you ask will be given. So you would return non-empty. So next Sunday, October 8th at 3, Amogapasa Guan Yin. The Guan Yin with non-empty lasso. There is a patriarch in Tantrayana that's called Amoga, and Subhasrapsasimha, and then Amoga, San Uwe, one more, Amaga, and Vajravarahi. and Vajravarahi.
到唐朝的时候，到了
These were the 3 patriarchs that went to China,
他称为开元
and they were called the 3 founders. The 3 great master founders, talking about non-empty or amoga.
今天再跟大家讲这个
Amoga, Singha, and Vajravarahi. Today we will talk about the 3 continua,
这个含场因序
the continuum of the causal potential. There is no need to use the continuum. Causal potential, bodily method, resultant Mahamudra.
含场因生方便
Causal potential, bodily methods, resultant Mahamudra, with 3 meanings.
含场因序
These are the 3 continua. The continuum of the causal potential, the continuum of the bodily methods, and the continuum of the resultant Mahamudra. If I don't explain it, then you would not understand what is the causal potential is.
那它这里面有总义，有支分，有因
It talks about overall meaning, the branches,
诸三昧雅，悟空行辅觉，
And,
方便系道观。另外，总义里面又含有1、2、3、4、5、6、7种。然后
and in the
因观
overall meaning
又
there
含
are
有
the
这
7
个
different
由
kinds.
合坛成，得合灌顶，清净合后。
And about the altar, how to
它
receive
这
the
里面主
empowerments,
要是
purine,
主
purine.
要是标题。
These are all just the titles.
在提到里面的，现教是万法摄于一，摄于自心相系无间之故，显示三系之道。
Instructions on concentrating everything on the tight continuum of this mind, described as the path of the 3 continua. So actually this is talking about that everything comes from the mind. So everything comes from your own mind. So in your spiritual cultivation, because you utilize your own mind to continually practice,
来显示它有3种相续的一种力量。
and then would
第一
generate
种是具有
3
能身体
kinds of
金刚
powers
持火之
that
能
are
力，
continuum.
如种子
The
出
first
生的
one
含场因。
is having the power to bear the fruit of a Vajradhara, like a seed
所以
that
今
can
天
sprout.
这个烧这个种子，烧这个种子，
So today we
希望它
burn
种子能
seeds,
够发芽。
and we wish that the seeds can
那
sprout.
今天我在讲佛法，意思就是给大家种子。
So when I'm teaching Buddha Dharma, it's the
这个
same
种
as
子
giving
种
you
在
the
你的
seed,
心田上面。
and we plant the seed
那
inside
这
or
个种
on
子它
the
会
field of
开
your
始发芽，
mind.
然后再长
And
出
when
一
the
个幼
seed
苗，
starts to
成
sprout,
为一棵树，
it would become, it
再
grows to
生
become
下
a
一个
tree,
花，再
and to bear
再
flowers,
由树枝再长出花，
from branches,
叶、
flower,
花，还有
leaves,
果，
flowers,
全部都长
and
出出来。
fruits. They all will grow
这是
from it.
成佛的道理，成佛的一个
And
相续的一个道理。
The
所以
continuum
种子是一种
to
因。
Buddhahood. So seed
你晓
is
得
a
我们
kind
现在
of
所住的地方
cause.
是在美国的地方，
So
那
we
么美
live
国的地
in
方当初
America
是
now.
没有佛法，最早的时候当然没有
At
佛
the
法
earliest
传到
time,
美
of
国
course, there is no Buddha
当然
Dharma
也有
in
很多的
America.
这个西藏的佛法到美国来弘
And
法。
then later on, there are many
还有显
Tibetan
教的法师
Rinpoches
到美
spreading Buddha Dharma,
最早的美国
in
当然是没有
America,
佛法，
or the
没有佛法的地
Mahayanas
方。
masters
那么
coming
这些
here to
人
spread
来
Buddha
就等
Dharma.
于是一个种
But
子，他
before that, there were
播下
no
来一些种
Buddhism
子，
here. So when these people come, they are spreading the seeds. So by hearing the Buddha Dhamma, you generate faith. And that's like sprouting. And the seeds will be able to grow to become a tree that bears fruits. So what is the cause? Yes, the causal potential is like the power to bear the fruit of a Vajravarahi, like a seed that can sprout. So the cause is the seed. So Grandmaster spreading the seeds. But if you don't practice, it's as if the seeds are sprayed on the concrete ground. To sow the seeds like on the concrete, then you will not have, you will not bear the fruit of a Vajradhara. Because every being has the Buddha nature. And then if you sow a seed on the Buddha nature, one day he or she will become a Buddha. So that's what it means. So the power to bear the fruit of a Vajradhara. And the second continuum of the bodily methods is the power that is embedded in the causal ground becomes mature through the practice of the body, like adding water and nutrients to the seed. So you use your body that has the seed inside it to become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So to use the body as a convenient method to attain Buddhahood and Bodhisattvahood. But if your body is handicapped, then it would be difficult. What kind of handicap? Like the blind or deaf? Could not hear, then it's not possible to sow the seed. He's blind, he cannot see. He could not visualize. Like you can visualize Vajravarahi holding a kapala and kachanka. So, but if you can't see it, and then from description it will be difficult. And then what's that called? Transvestite. Transvestite. Like in Singapore, you see many of them. He's a male, but he shows like the body of a woman, so it would be difficult to practice. And then transvestite, that's not created by human being, but born as a transvestite. And Grandmaster has seen it because it's a baby that was brought for me to see, and they took the pants off, and the bird and the abalone are there. So it's like male and female together. So a person with both male and female. So that would be very difficult for those kind of people to practice, because they will not be able to use the karma mudra. So that's according to my guru's teaching. So using the body as a convenient
有因
method
位的能力。
to practice.
还有
Like
另外
adding
还有
water
一
and
种
nutrients to the seed, this is
他没有
somehow
手跟脚
embedded in the causal
也很
ground.
难修。
And also a
没有
type
手
of people without
没有脚
limbs.
没有手你
No
就不能结
arms,
手
no
印啊。
legs. Without arms, you cannot form
没有脚
mudras.
你就不能用六
Without
照印啊。
legs, you cannot form the 6 triangle mudra.
所以对身印上面它也很麻烦，
So
所以你四肢
the
不健
bodily
全
mudra would be
也很
difficult.
难修行。
So if
所以
you
必
miss
须要有
any
正
limbs,
常
that
的一
would
个
be
人，
difficult to
他
cultivate
本身有
spiritually.
修行的能
So
力
you
的
need
人，
to be normal
这个叫做身方便。
to have the potential to cultivate spiritually, and this is called the bodily methods.
4:22了，
4:22.
时间好快，
Time
哎
flies.
来不及讲叉叉了。
No time to talk about X.
我今天早上看了一篇文章
This
叉叉的文
morning,
章
I read an article
是他跟
of X
跟猫讲话，跟
about
猫讲
X
话的文章。
having a dialogue with the cat. With the cat.
就暂时不讲了，以后再讲。他
I
跟
will
猫
not
讲话，
talk about it today.
这个猫的主
She
人
was
抱着
talking to
猫
a cat,
跟他讲话。
and the owner of the cat was carrying the cat, talking to
那他就是解释这个猫在讲什么，讲给他
And
听。
she was telling the owner what the cat was saying.
不是这样的。
And the owner
不是这
kept
样
saying,
不
no,
会
no, no, no,
不是这
no,
样
that's not the case.
但是他继续
It
讲
wouldn't be
他
like that.
那主人一直
But
讲
she
说
kept
不会的
talking
不会
about
的
it.
不是这样子，就是这样。
That's all.
甲跟乙在餐厅喝酒聊天，
A and B
甲说
are
经
drinking
济
in the
如果再
restaurant
不景气，养
and
家糊
chatting.
口都很难。
If the economy
乙就
doesn't
问
get
他
better,
你有
it'll
几
be
个小
hard
孩？
to raise a
甲说
family.
5个，
And A asked B, how many children do you have? 5.
乙就讲说5个确实不好养，
It's hard to
甲
raise
回
5
答
children.
孩子的问题是小
And
烦
he
恼
said,，
那
raising
孩子
children
的
is a
5
small
个妈妈
case.
才烦恼。
But their 5 mothers is quite
孩
troublesome.
子的5个妈妈才烦恼，大家不要笑说他有5个老婆，他有5个老婆，每一个老婆生一个孩子。
So he has
我告
5
诉你
wives.
我祖父有6个老婆，
And my grandfather had
他娶
6
6个。
wives.
哎，我想想我的祖父，再
Thinking
想想
about
自己
my grandpa
觉得自己
and
很
then
悲哀。
comparing to myself, I feel really sorry.
因为你知道吗？
Because you
洗
know,
一个已经很受不了。
I can't bear having one.
不能这样子讲，不能这样
I can't
这
say
样讲，
this.
回去
No,
会
no.
有问题。
Otherwise, I would be in trouble when I get
洗
home.
一个，它
One
已经是
is
等于
already like
千万个。
thousands
他
of
的
them.
能力啊，像千手千眼观世音菩萨
呃
那样子，非常有 power 的。
Capabilities are very powerful, like the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Guan Yin
所以真
Bodhisattva.
正能够娶到像师母这样子，非
If
常
you
有
can
能力的，
get someone like
有
Simu
power 的人，
for a wife
真的是
with
非
great
常
power, it's really very fortunate.
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
妈妈问小明，
Mom
今天考
asked
试考得如何？
Xiaoming,
小明说
How
只
did
会
your
3
exam
个
go?
填充题。妈妈
and he
说来
replied,
听听，
I
哪3
only
题？
knew 3.
Xiaoming
Fill
就
in the answer. What
第
are
一个
they?
填充是班级，你是哪一班？你的
Class,
姓名是什么？
name,
你的学号是什么？
and
学生号码，我们写
student ID number.
学号填学号，填姓名，
Student ID
填班
number,
他
name,
就会
and
就
class.
这3个
That's all he could.
他妈妈就讲说， 他妈妈。
And his mom would say, that's a curse word in Chinese.
这个也是佛法。
This is also
人
Buddha
多
Dharma.
少要有点智慧。我常常讲哦，
As a human being, we have to have at
张
least
开
some
你们
wisdom.
智慧的眼睛，
I always say,
看着
open your wisdom
哪一个
eyes.
上师在占地盘，
Observe which
哪一个
master
上师在捞钱，
is
哪一个上师是地盘，
holding on the territory,
张开你们
scraping
智慧
money
的眼睛看。
and
我
losing
不是讲
lineage.
了吗？这是
So
三
open
题
your eyes and
三个
observe.
题目啊，
3.
讲了多少遍你们都，
And I have repeated many, many, many times. And you
如
still
果你们
don't
很多人
understand.
问我啊，像那个
Many
古云
people
就
ask
问
me,
我
like
师尊
Yin,
你为什么不早说
Grandmaster, why didn't you say earlier?
啊？很多人跟我讲，师尊，
Many people
你害我
told
们
me,
你为什么不早讲？
Grandmaster, you have harmed
很
me,
多人问我，
harm
师
us.
尊，你为什么
Why
不早
didn't you
给
say
他
earlier?
给他发掘出来？
Why didn't
我
you
有讲
expose
啊，
her much earlier?
不
I
是没
did.
有讲啊，
I did.
我讲的就是这三题呀，
You know, I have mentioned these 3
是
points. I
谁
have
在占
warned
地
you
盘？你看
who
哪一个上
is
师在占地盘？
expanding territories.
是哪一个上师他在捞钱？
Who is getting money?
是哪一个上师失去传承？
Who is
你自己想
losing
想
the
看
lineage?
他搞他自
Which
己的，
master? Think about it.
他管你什么根本上师？他完
She
全
is
是搞自己的，这搞得莫
Doing
名其妙。
things on her own without
你想
lineage
对不
to
对？
guru
他做什么也
as
不让你
as
知
she
道啊。
likes, and she never let you
他
know
养那
what she's
5个
doing.
鬼领袖也不让你知道啊，对不
She's
对？
worshipping
他也不让你知
the
道啊。
ghost leaders.
他在
And didn't
桃
let
园观
you
音乡
know.
盖2栋这个
And at the Guan Yin
楼房
village in Taoyuan,
他也
in
不让
China,
你知道啊，我也
she
没有去
built
过啊，
2
他也没有讲
buildings,
过啊，
and she never mentioned it.
他从来没有
I've
保护报
never
告的，
visited it either. I've
他
never
自
been there.
己的啦。
She never reported
什
her
么时候他
Dharma
讲过
work.
他
She
房子
did
盖
her own
盖好多
things.
久了，我都不知道。
I don't know how long she has built that either.
我一想，你想想，他根
So
本就
think
没有
about
传
it.
承了，
She has no
而且
lineage
很早
whatsoever
以前就没有。
from long ago.
啊，我那时候我有一次我叫这个连凯法师
One
啊
time,
出来当上师，
I
觉得他
asked
们
Reverend Lian-Sheng
他出来当上
to become a Vajramaster.
他回
I
答
found
我
him
第
to
一句
be
话是什
okay.
么话？
And you know what his reply was?
我要请问我的上师。
I want to ask my master first.
那这样子，我把连凯看成什么？
Then how would I treat
他
Lian-Sheng?
根本就不是我的弟子啊！
Then he's not my disciple.
师父讲的话你也不听，
You don't listen
然
to
后
your
那位
guru's
叉
words.
叉更妙，
And that
居然
axe
对跟连凯
was
讲
even
你
worse.
时候未到，
And she told
根
Lian-Sheng
本上师
that your time is not here yet.
师父把
So
50
who
颂
is
是
the
不是写得很
guru?
清楚吗？
So it's been written in the 50 stanzas of
无
Guru
子不
devotions.
应做，师尊有了旨意下去，
So if
你就
there
要
is
照
a
根本上
command
师的
from the
旨意去
lineage
做
root guru,
而且
you
是
have
努力去完成。
to follow it and
无子不
work
应
very
做，
hard
我没有
to
旨意
make it
你去
happen.
做了，
But and then
你
if
就
you
不
do
是
it
皈依嘛，对不对？很简单啊。
without
你就早就
Guru's
去传承
direction, then you don't have the
有什么好讲
a
的？
single
你根本就没有
minded
传承。
refuge. Then
所以
you
我
have
跟
no
大家讲
lineage,
哦，
right?
注
Very
意
simple.
哪一个上师
So
失去
that
传
means
承
you have lost your
注
lineage.
意
So
哪
I've
一个上
told
师
you,
在
pay
捞
attention
钱，
who has lost the
注意
lineage, who
哪一个上
kept
师在
getting
占
money
地
or
占地
trying
盘？
to
我有没有讲过？
get money from people, and
有讲
who
过，早就告诉
is
你了，你自己不
expanding
听的。
territories. Have I said this? Yes, long ago, many times, and you
我
didn't
没有
listen.
讲，很早就讲了。
Of course I have said it. Of course I have warned you.
这里有个笑话，所谓软男的
There's this joke.
定义，他只温暖你一个人，对别人冷若冰霜。 这个才是软。
warm. Huh?
软，如果温软一大堆的人，那个
You
就
warm
叫
only
中
one
央空
person.
调。
You only warm a single person, and you are very cold toward others. Yeah, but if you warm everybody, then you're like a central heating. Like Grandmaster is a central heating. Because Buddha Dharma should be widely spread.
老婆问先生
The wife
为
asks
什么
the
我
husband,
每次穿什么你都说很美呢？
why do you always say
这个先生呢，顿了一
whatever
下
I
就
wear is
说，那
beautiful?
是因为
And the
如果
husband
说不好看，
stopped
你就会去
for a
买
bit
新的。
and then said, because if I said it doesn't look beautiful, then you will buy new ones.
我要讲我们初步的 school
I want
这
to
个中国
say
秘法非常的好。
that true Buddha Tantra, true Buddha Tantric Dharma of true Buddha school is extremely
很
wonderful
完全，很完全。
and
你
complete.
不用到别家去买。
There's no need for you to go to other
真的
places.
中国秘法，我这样子讲已经很透彻了。已经很
And
清楚。
my teachings are very thorough and clear.
这是陈传芳讲过的笑话。
This is a joke that have been told by
已
Linda.
婚的男士千万别买新的 iPad S， 因为
A married man, please don't buy the
当
new
你睡
iPad
着的时
X
候啊，
because
你老
when you
婆
fall
查你的
asleep,
手机，只要对着你脸一扫，
in order for
它
your
就开
wife
锁了，
to check on
什
your
么都藏不
phone,
住。
then she would
而你
just
想
face
查
it
老
to your
婆的手
face
机
and
啊
then you see
根本
everything.
就没有办法。
But it will be
因为老婆
impossible
只
for
要一
you
睡
to
觉，她
check
都
your
卸
wife's
妆。
phone because when she sleeps, she would be without any cosmetics.
所以这事情呢，我告诉
Without
你，
any makeup.
事情有真有假。
So there are
事实上要
true
分辨，
things
就是
and
要
there are fake
让你自己
things.
能够分辨。
So you need to be able to
今
discern
天教
them
大家
yourself.
就是要分辨，
So
要
I'm
有智
teaching
慧
you
的眼
to
睛，
discern,
哪
to
一
be
个是真
wise,
实的上
to have
师，
wisdom eyes.
哪一个是假的
Which
上师，
master
你要分
is
辨得出
a
来。
real master and which master
你
is a
分
fake
辨一个善
master.
一个恶，你也要分辨出来，因为
You
很
need
多
to
的
be
伪
able to
装，
discern the good and
很
the
多是假
bad
的。
because there are many fake ones. There are
表面
many
上他讲，他是
scums.
讲了一套很慈悲的话语，
On the surface, she says some
暗中他做的
kind
又是
and
另外一种。
compassionate things, but
你根本不知道。
secretly what she does is a different thing.
但是莲花童子唯一的条件，
But the only pre-qualification to be a
就是真实。
Padma Kumara is the
一定要真。
authenticity, the truthfulness. It has to be truthful.
你失去了这个真日，你就不是
Without the
莲花童子，
truthfulness, you're not a Padma Kumara.
你根本就是假的莲花童子。
You're
不是真实
definitely a fake one.
一
You're
定要
a
真
fake。Padma Kumara.
第一个，
Because you have to be
莲花童
truthful
子
and authentic.
它纯真；
Because the
纯真。
lotus youth or Padma Kumara is
第二
innocent
个，
and pure. Second,
无邪，无邪，天真啊，天真无邪，他天真，很天真，很无邪。
innocent and naive. Innocent.
第三个，
And third,
他是很热情。第四
warm-hearted
个，他是游戏，
playfulness.
游戏。第五个，
And fifth,
生活简单，没有那么复杂，生
simple.
活很简单，
Simple
他的
lives.
生活很简单，
Very
你都可以
simple.
知道他在过什么样子的生活。
You know how they
生活
live their
简单。
lives. They live a
游戏
simple life,
人间是一种游戏。
playful, and
再来呢，
the human life
就是他
or
本身
human world
天
is
真
like a
无
kind of
邪，
game of playful
他非常
play,
的热情， 他非常的
innocent,
真实，是
warm-hearted,
莲花童
and
子的条
very
件。
earnest,
你既有这
sincere,
样子的
truthful.
条件，你就是莲花童子。
Those five are the qualifications to be a Padma Kumara. If you have these qualifications, then you are a Padma Kumara.
那些假的不算，那些假的。
And the fake ones
假的
are not.
像那个古云讲的，他修行了3000万年。
Are not
他已经
Padma
修行了3000
like what
万
Gu
年。
Yin said, that she's been practicing for 30 million years.
你们自己想。
Well, of
萤
course.
火虫已经
I
等
don't
他
know.
11万
Think
年。
about it yourself.
11万年，萤火虫等他。
That the fireflies have been waiting for
要求
her
他来超度。
for 110,000 years, waiting for her to Bardu
昨天
deliver
讲的
them.
那一只喇嘛。
And what we talked about last night about the
3000
Lama
年的弟子
was
3000
a
年的弟子
disciple
比释迦
of
牟尼还早。
3,000 years, even earlier than
萤火
Sakyamuni
虫
Buddha.
11万年就知道怎么叫做超度。
And fireflies 110,000 years ago already knew about Bardu deliverance. How
用
could
智
you
慧想一
how
想，
could you listen to those kind of words?
去看去观察，
Think about it. Use your wisdom.
都是假的。
Pay attention. Observe.
我以
Those
前很会
were
抓
all
苍蝇哦。
fake.
我告诉你，我要抓苍蝇很容易。
I could catch flies very easily.
我手比这样，
If a fly there,
比这样。
I would place my hand like this in a distance.
我如果手一动，它会飞起来。
When I move my hand,
差不多
it
飞到
would
这个高
fly.
度，那我就抓这个高
So,
度，
so I know she would fly when I
我就
move
抓
my
到苍
hand,
蝇，
and she would fly this high, and I would
然
catch
后
it.
怎样呢？嗡先减透，悄
And then I
先
would
出
say
口，南无阿弥陀佛，啾。
Leave behind suffering,
苍蝇
gaining
的信仰，
happiness,
我超度了它。
being reborn into the pure land, Namo Amitabha, and then I brought to deliverance the fly. So that's the story of a fly.
这是他写的一只苍蝇的故事啊。
So this is the story of a fly
我真的
that
我
she
很会
wrote.
抓苍蝇的，现在
So
随便一只苍
it's
蝇，
easy
如果
for
它
me
停
to
在这里
catch a fly. I
我
can
我
catch
我会
fly
测
really
量
well.
测量它，我手
I
动
know
的时
how
候
to
它就飞
do
起来，差不多飞到
The
多高
measurement, the survey.
抓到，
Like when I move my
一只苍
hand,
蝇
it
的故
would
事
start to
终于被
fly.
我超度，它是
Then I
飞
would
了
catch it.
4天
The
4夜，
story of a
没
fly.
有休息，
That the
飞来
fly
给我
flies for days and nights without rest to come here to be Bardu delivered by
哎
me.，
告诉你，我们那天一只蝙蝠在这里飞来飞去啊，
There was a bat
我说法
flying
的时候它
here,
就不飞了，对不对？我
right?
不说法的时候在做
And then
梦
when
它
I
就飞了。
started giving Dharma teaching, it doesn't fly anymore. But it flew when I was performing
马来西亚的
Homa.
那个大黑洞，那
You know where it
黑
came
山的
from?
洞里面飞出来的蝙
It
蝠啊，
flew from the
飞飞累了
huge black cave in
再
Malaysia.
生下下一代，再跟他讲，你一定要飞到美国。
And then it flew and got tired and then told the next generation, you have to continue to fly
那时
to
候
America,
去求他，
the Rainbow Temple there,
超
and
度人，
Grandmaster Lu
然后
is
他儿子又
performing
飞了
Homa there.
已经不行了，
So the son was
就在
flying and flying,
再生下来，再交
and then
代
give birth to
交
the
代那
next
只蝙
son,
蝠啊，然
and
后交代
instructed
小的
the
蝙蝠是
the little
祖
bat
父交代父亲，父亲
Granddad
交代儿子，儿子交
to
代
dad, dad to the
交代
son,
孙子，
son to the
孙子再交代
grandson,
交代
to the
曾
great
孙
grandson,
这样子连续交代了500多年以后，
instructed like that, generation after generation for 500 years. And eventually
经过
they
我
got
念一个咒语
to the
这个
Homa hall of the
佛
Rainbow
嘛
Temple,
哎
and
他
then
就在
through the fire offering, and with the Bardu deliverance, it doesn't appear
写一
anymore.
篇故事很好。
So now you can write a story like
这
that.
个蝙蝠从马来西亚的这个黑洞里
The
面
bat that
飞了
flew
500年，终于飞到
from
这
the
个
black
美国
hole
西
from
雅图太
Malaysia
空山庄，这个
for
父母宝
500
殿
years,
接受卢世尊的这个
and eventually arrived at the Homa hall at the Rainbow Temple and received Bardu deliverance from Grandmaster Lu,
奥玛尼陀
talking. With that,
非常感谢根本传承上师宝贵的法语开示。
We're very grateful to His
现在
Holiness Precious Dhamma
各
teaching.
自坐的椅子叠好。
And in a moment there would be the empowerments for Vajravarahi. And during the empowerment, please remember to visualize the deity, to form the mudra, and to recite the mantra. Visualize that you're in union with the deity.
“现在我们恭请根本传承上师赐予与会大众金刚亥魔法灌顶禅皈依灌顶。 还没有接受灌顶的义工同们，请你们速速来接受灌顶，灌顶即将就要结束了。还没有接受灌顶的义工同们，请你们速速来接受灌顶，灌顶即将就要结束了。 让我们以热烈的掌声感谢根本传承上师赐授金刚亥母法灌顶。顶礼坛城做观想大礼拜，1拜根本传承上师及诸佛。Om Ah Hom 观想顶礼，回天心散印2拜诸菩萨。Om Ah Hom 观想顶礼，回天心散印3拜诸护法金刚。Om Ah Hom 观想顶礼，回天心散印是平等一起手。 护摩法会圆满吉祥结束了，感谢根本传承上师的大加持，感谢师母、诸位上师、教授师、法师、讲师、助教贵宾同门善信大德的护持，谢谢大家，阿弥陀佛。We now conclude this live broadcast. Thank you for viewing.